Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to keep chipping away at everything that's left to do to this thing before we can start it for the first time, and hopefully I can get it all done. Yeah, it's taken a bit longer than normal. I've been working 5 days a week for the last month and only had weekends to work on it, so yeah, it's been drawn out a bit and obviously haven't had a lot of time to touch it. So hopefully I can put a bit of a dent in that over the next few days, being the fact that I've just gone on holidays as of Thursday. Today's Saturday. I had the day to myself yesterday, and yeah, so hopefully we can get a bit of this sorted out and we can get this thing started. Now, since I edited this video and put it out for you guys, I came to the realization, and I done a bit of double checking with previous videos that I've done, and turns out that the water line did in fact run over the top of the charge pipes. So I've gone and clocked my compressor housing more and realigned all my intercooler piping, so hopefully we're good to go on that. And yeah, so one of the things today we're going to do is swap out, well, not swap out, I've already taken it out and took it with me to make sure I got the right one, is the exhaust gasket from the dump to the main lot of the exhaust. Went and picked this one up from Autobarn, so we'll get in and throw him under, and then hopefully, well, yeah, not hopefully, after we sort that out, we might get in and put the radiator and all that in there with some hoses and stuff, and then yeah, I think it'll be time to put the bonnet and stuff on. But before I do that, I went out the other day when I got my gasket and got a new polisher and where is it, some metal polish liquid. But before I touch that, I'm going to use my other headlight polish stuff down there and see how that goes, and see if we can't restore that headlight and make it look something like that, how it originally was. So yeah, little bit to get done, and fingers crossed we get it done. Let's do it. Okay, so before we install the gasket, there's a quick part number, and we'll have a quick look at the old gasket, which honestly isn't in too bad a nick. Been used a couple of times, so I'm going to replace him with this freshie. And yeah, it might be a bit squishy to get in there and give you a look at what I'm doing, but basically right down the bottom down there you can see one of the bolt holes just right there. I'll be down there, I might be able to give you a look after. Okay, so there it is. That's where I just put the exhaust gasket in. Turn my light on so you can see a bit better. Yeah, not enough room to record while I was doing it, obviously. Not enough room at all. But yeah, there she is, all bolted up back to the rest of the exhaust. So hopefully no dramas. Alright, so I've just dug my brand new radiator out of storage just to check it out and see which one I was going to use. Now, with this one, well, they're more or less the same. Fan shroud, all the right water inlets and outlets and all that jazz. And just checking it over, obviously mine's seen a bit of usage, some damaged pins and whatnot, but that's besides the point. It still works fine. The main biggest difference is the width of the radiator itself. You can see the side tanks, how wide they are, and the main bit of the radiator sits in a bit. This one, all the right ports in all the right places, fan shrouds. Now, the width of the radiator is basically the same width as the tank. So one thing I'm gonna have to do is this one. Now, honestly, wouldn't mind using this one. It's not a PWR or anything fancy like that. It came from Worley, however you pronounce it, WORELY, something like that. Automotive, blah blah blah. And yeah, I was gonna put this in the other Fairlane that I got to fix it up, but I might put it in this. Yeah, you can see how thick the core is to the tank on that one compared to the core on this one to the tank. Now, with this sitting in there before, there was only just enough room to sort of get it in there with the, how wide everything is with the fan shroud and all that. I'm pretty sure I even had to take the fan shroud off, which is what I'll have to do to this, which is going to make it interesting, because it is unbelievably hard to get to these bottom bolts that hold the fan shroud on from the top. Now I'm also going to have to mess around with the wiring and hook it all up so it runs nicely into here. I did that with this one, as you can see, but in the midst of messing around, adjusting things, went to pull it out and forgot to unplug the wiring harness from it, and terminals came out. So my thought is I'll leave that one alone. I'll go up into me white Fairlane in the scrap bin of its parts and dig out the wiring harness for its fans so I can shibby onto these ones. But in saying that, we need to check and see if this is going to fit down in there and be happy. So let's get it done. So I have to go along and take the fan shroud off. 1, 2, 3 and 4 bolts. One thing straight up, the tap here, not the best. Might have to source something else out for that, I don't know, or just keep that in the car with me, or in my little toolbox or something, whatever. But yeah, anyway, a little bit disappointing. I basically had the same issue with my old one, where that corroded too much and snapped. Okay, so there it is. It's about as much room, a little bit less than what there was with the other one in there. But now I need to go along and mount my bar here to the radiator that helps support the intercooler. Yes, my setup for the intercooler mounting is a bit of a wild how you going one, but it works, and it works well. So my intercooler mounting, I've got a piece of 90-degree piece of angle bar from there to there, and then 90 angle bar again that goes through there and there, the tabs on the radiator, and then yeah, braced across and across, and to help support the weight it's braced from the top as well. And then I've got these runners that come back from the cross member to the front. But yeah, I can also brace these front runners if I want through my radiator mount if I need to. So yeah, let's go ahead and get these mounted up. A little bit of a struggle, but we'll get it. Okay, so I've got the radiator mounted in. Top mounts bolted up. Middle mounts or intercooler mounts bolted up, one there and one in here. And yeah, also what I had to do to make this fit properly, previously, because the radiator itself is about that much taller, I had to go along and drop my radiator mounts just here about 10 mil. So all I did was get a bunch of washers and throw them in between there. What I may do down the track is get a bit of square bar or something and throw in there to have that bit extra strength, but for now that'll do. So now what I'm gonna do is I'll slide that up and out and work on fan wiring. Right, so I've just gone and checked out my harness on the old Fairlane for the thermo fans, and its connection is actually pretty shocking. But anyway, I've got the old connection off my other fans over there. I'm basically gonna have to remake the wiring harness, and so yeah, let's get underway and do that. So black is obviously black, I'll just extend that, and then yeah, red's blue. Now when you come to plugging it in, plug sits on the end of this one, like that, and plugs in, you know, if it was still on the normal shroud, would sit on the shroud, something like that. So positives go down one side, negatives go down the other, and I'm pretty sure the positives do sit on that side if you're looking at the plug the same way I am. So I'm going to take the next 10 minutes or so and make another wiring harness. So there she is, all wired up. Just got to get a couple of little zip ties and tidy the harness up. But hopefully she's all sweet. You can see there, reds both go to one side, blacks both go to one side. So yeah, sorry, reiterate that. Positives both go to one side, negatives both go to one side. So hopefully she's all good, and that's the way the other one is wired up as well from factory. So yeah, hopefully she's all sweet. tie harness for the fans, all nicely zip tied in there. I don't know if you can see it properly, but they're there, and across between both fans, zip tied there and there. And then same place on this fan, one there, one there. I've zip tied the harness to itself to wrap it back towards the connection, plugged it in, because that grey end here is a little bit loose, munted, doesn't clip on properly. I've put a zip tie around it that way, but I'm gonna wait until I strap it down properly, until I zip tie it long ways so it doesn't come apart. I will eventually get another connection at some point, but yeah, for now I'm gonna put my airbox back in there and see what sort of room there is or isn't, because the harness here, this body harness that runs through the fans has to run underneath the airbox and basically come out the same point as what it does with the harness, body harness that goes to the lights and everything. So I'm going to put that in there, put the airbox in there and check it all for clearance, and then we'll probably end up leaving it there as well, unbolted in, until after we put the radiator hoses and whatnot in, because that's going to tell me what I do or don't need to do in regards to order of things down the track when I got to work on the car, because obviously there's really not enough room here for anything. Well, especially, you know, activities when you got to get your hands in there. So yeah, and because when I put this in, yeah, I may as well just do it to show you. I got to put it in on the angle. So that's pretty much how I'm gonna have to put it in. There's really not enough room down there at all. That's alright, that can stay like that. That'll be A-OK. You can see down there properly, I'm not sure. But yeah, there'll be enough room for it to sit there nicely. And then, yeah. Pipe work, a lot of it, a lot to get around. Well, anyway, right, let's keep cracking. So I've just put a couple of zip ties down the bottom of the fan shroud in the same place that the bolts would go, down on the bottom. And now I'm about to run this rad hose from tank to thermo.
in this shit. Yeah. I ain't too tough to settle down with a wife and kid. I live for the grind, and I grind to live. I wanna do the things that matter to me. Live like a good king, as life brings the good things. It's easy to get blinded by the stressing, and forget that every day is another blessing. No matter how many mistakes you make, life just keeps giving you another day. No rest for the ones that be grinding, and respect to my homies who be fighting in a war that will never end, in the pursuit to be better men. But then again, there's nothing to hold you back except yourself. You're caught up in the sauce on the road to hell. It's a slippery slope if you fall asleep. Why don't you fall asleep on me? Yeah, that shit, alright. Let's get it.
Okay, you've just seen me install all radiator hoses but one, and that one is the main hose that goes from the coolant tank to the radiator, which is this black cap down here. But anyway, I'm not installing this hose just yet because I need to modify it to fit in here properly. So if I was to install this one the way it is now in the normal AU hose, that's how it's got to be. So in order for me to run it the way I need it, I need to cut it in half and basically 180 either end. So we'll get to doing that, but in the meantime I'm going to take this out so I can work out a couple of things. So next achievement, like I said, I've got to mess around with that radiator hose and 180 one of the ends so I can make it fit properly from A to B. And then, yeah, like I said, the next achievement will be getting that in with all the radiator hoses. Let's do it. Okay, so there's the last radiator hose installed. So now I'm going to get my airbox, do the final test run, test fit, to see if it'll go in there easy enough with all the hoses and everything there. So let's give it a go. tiny bit of a squeeze, but I was able to get it in there good enough without too much interference, so I think we'll call that a win. Now the next fitment process for the airbox will be the hood, which I think will come real shortly. I'm just gonna double check a few things and see where we're at and make a decision from there. Let's go. So I went and got this garage tough cordless polisher from Autobarn. I'll attack this headlight and see what we can't do. Yeah, the stuff I'll be using, oh hang on, it's a little bit of info about it. It does come with a few little applicator pads and whatnot. Be giving this stuff a go to start with, see what it does, and then I've heard, not necessarily this brand, but metal polish, alloy. Pretty sure this is for alloy as well. Wouldn't have bought it unless it didn't say alloy. But anyway, we'll give that a go afterwards and see what it says. If it doesn't work that great, or if the plastic stuff doesn't work that great. So anyway, we'll attack the headlight, see how it goes. Here's a quick squizzy at the palm polisher. Not too bad. Just runs off my battery that I already had for my impact gun. So it didn't do too bad of a job. There's still a lot of pitting from where the acetone hit the plastic. So we'll give this a go and see what it says. Now, suitable also removing fine scratches from metal, fiberglass and some plastic surfaces. So we'll see how this goes, but on metal, otherwise cleans, restores, polishes, shines all metals and leaves an invisible film that protects the surface from tarnish and rust. So yeah, give it a go, see what it says, and hopefully we can get that looking as good as that one. So at the end of the day, it did do something, but the acetone was way too aggressive on it, and I have actually had this apart in previous years, so I think most of what you can see, that's all on the outside, I think. But yeah, you know, obviously that's on the outside or from the acetone. I think that's on the inside, all along the bottom here. But yeah, there is a lot of watermark and stuff on the inside, like here. I don't know if it's going to show up on the camera. There's lines there that are actually on the inside of the lens, just like that one there, if it shows up, and that one. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, it did something, but not as good as what I thought it was going to. I thought it might have actually got rid of all the harshness that the acetone brought to it. But anyway, that just leaves me open to ideas. I mean, I'm gonna replace the headlight one way or another, but I've got a few ideas up in my head about making my own, specifically just for the one side. If anyone's high performance minded when it comes to cars, or yeah, over the top modifications, I think you could call it, maybe, you should probably have a pretty good idea of what I'm thinking with that side for the headlight, especially if you're in the GTR world, or into Lancers and all that sort of stuff, you know, drag style stuff. So yeah, you'll probably catch on pretty quick to what I'm thinking about doing with that headlight. So yeah, we'll call it a day for that. Looks pretty good, better than it did anyway. And yeah, I think next move will be doing the bonnet, maybe putting the bonnet on. What do you reckon? Okay, so we're gonna put the bonnet on now. I'll go find someone to give me a hand, but all I'm gonna do when we bolt it on is use the original paint markings from the factory and just line it up as best as possible before I bolt it down and secure it on there. So yeah, let's get this thing on there, eh? Scratch me paint a little bit. Oh, what happens? So anyway, moment of truth. Let's see what that's gonna say for clearance, eh? But otherwise, all I've done is line up the factory spray points. Well, obviously, you know, the bolt leaves a mark where there's no paint, so all I've done is line that up as best as I can on both sides with a little bit just a tad off, but you know, it's not a show car at this stage. So couple of mil here and there for fitment ain't really gonna bother me at this point in time. But anyway, let's close this thing and see what. Oh, need some new struts, I think. Yes, she's filthy, I know. So far so good. Can you see it? Just here. There's still room. Oh. And that's closed. So yes, bonnet's not the best shape because I collected a road doing about $1.10 out on the Stewart Highway a few years ago, hence why there's paint missing off the bonnet, bent up here, all that was smashed in, the grille was smashed in, headlight, it's gone. So yeah, well, actually no, that headlight was fine. Hit the center of the grille, up over the bonnet, and down the side. Smashed off my side mirror. As you can see, it's black, not maroon like it should be for the Fairlanes. But yeah, she's on there, she's Schmidt, and as you can see, not too bad of a line all the way up. It's relatively schmicky. So yeah, oh, the bonnet does sit up just a tad. Well, it shouldn't really. Well, maybe it is touching inside there. No, can't really tell. I might have to climb up and stick my hand up there and see. But the radiator cap, sorry, not the radiator cap, the coolant tank cap for that reservoir did actually touch when it had its proper cap on there. Like that just sits over the top of the radiator, well, you may as well call it a radiator cap that's on the tank there at the moment. So I just took it off and it cleared the bonnet. But anyway, don't need new straps, they're good. Oh, I better attach them properly while we're sitting, you know. Alright, so they're bumped in there now. They're not going to go anywhere. The lock tabs are in place. Like, yeah, looking pretty schmick. Pretty schmicky. Oh. Yeah. I'm going to close this bonnet again and see how we go for clearance. I can't see any marks up here where it's just bumped on it or scratched on it or whatever, but let's see what it says, eh? Icky bit of water here, rusty mark. Alright, so I've just got under there with the bonnet closed and slid my hand all the way up here, and I can basically have a party in there with my hand. So clearance on that is all sweet. Getting so close. Now, one thing I am revising at the moment in my head is just the fact of whether or not I'm gonna keep that coolant tank, just for the simple fact now with it wasn't quite as bad as this with the last setup I had. I don't know why, but with the actual intake pipe on there for the turbo, it squashes this radiator pipe slight bit too much for my liking. So can't really see it from the other side, but if you can see there how thin it's sort of squashed across there, yeah, I'm not really liking it. I may go and get the OG one out of the white one sitting over there. But yeah, as far as that goes, apart from a couple of little things, she's pretty much ready to kick over. And got the bonnet on there now. Just done the headlight resto. I'm gonna take that off and go give it a paint, and give it a sand and give it a paint. Yeah, just got to top up oil levels and water levels, and yeah, jump in there and see what the tune says on the laptop. I think I need to adjust the fuel pressure mapping for these injectors, and yeah, should be right for the first startup. I'm getting excited. It's been so long, too long. So you're probably wondering why I overfilled it. So for starters, I put an extra 500 ml in there because I didn't fill up the oil filter when I put it on there. Biggest debate between people ever, whether you should or should not fill them up before you put them on there. Me personally, I don't. But anyway, extra 500 ml in there because the oil filter itself holds about 500 ml. And then I put an extra 100 or so ml in there just for me personally, on the safe side, for oil running through the feed lines for the turbo and whatnot, you know, just to make sure that oil pressure stays up there in the bottom end. So yeah, that's the oil sorted out. That oil level should be relatively on point when I start it, and check the oil after I stop it for the first time. So she should be all sweet. Yeah. Also got my air intake box in there fitted for the final time. I've just got to run the power wires in there, which I'm going to do any minute now, and then I'll sort out putting the charge pipe on there, and then yeah, getting in there and seeing what's on the computer and giving her a kick for the first time. So yeah, just about there. Okay, so there we go, we got the power hooked up at the power distribution box. So got the battery coming in here and goes out to the starter with the red and to the alternator, yeah, all up in the fuse box and whatnot. So yeah, that's all that's needed for the power. You can see down here my little wrapped up bit, she's got my negatives in there joined up, wrapped up, protected. So yeah, she's all to go there. Couple little things and we're almost done. Okay guys, so we're gonna have to leave it here for today's video. We've pretty much got everything down and done, except a couple of little things, and one thing I'm just going to revise in my head and see what the outcome's going to be. Pretty sure I'm going to swap that radiator tank out just for the time being until I can sort something else out with the one I've got at the moment, because I'm not quite happy with it. I mean, the one that I had on there lasted probably about 3 years the way it was, so it's not really gonna hassle me at this point in time. And you know, it hasn't been on the road for quite a few years. It's seen maybe 45 minutes an hour worth of road time use in that 7 years or so, apart from, you know, little runs up and down my road here. But actually being on the road running 45 minutes to an hour and didn't build up any overdue pressure and burst that pipe. You know, obviously it wasn't caused by pressure building up, it was caused by the pipe rubbing on the ABS modulator and whatnot over a period of time. So yeah, I don't know, I'll think about it and see what's going on, and in the next one we'll find out, eh? But in the meantime, just take some stuff up off of here and see what we've come up with. And the bonnet, I haven't sorted out the horns, but we'll take that off anyway. And I'll rewrite a couple of things up there. Radiator and radiator hoses. And headlight resto. Which actually didn't do too bad, could have been better, but. And power hookup. I suppose I better take that one there. I've seen we done that in the last episode, in the last video rather. Okay, so that's that. Got a couple of more little things to sort out. Just let me know as well. I keep going to call these videos episodes or whatever. What do you think I should call them? Anyway, yeah, that's that for this video. I think we'll leave it there. The next time we'll be seeing the inside of this a little bit and discussing a couple of things, running over a couple of things, and yeah, so she'll be kicked off and started in the next video, hopefully. Fingers crossed, if everything goes well and I haven't fucked up anywhere, the engine won't go fucking boom or clatter 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 bang bang stop. Anyway, we'll leave it there. Peace out, catch us next time. Don't forget to like, comment and share the video, and if you haven't already, subscribe and ring that bell so you don't miss out on the next lot of content coming up and the big engine start that we're all waiting for. Peace out.